Welcome back to the open session of the Board of Selectmen meeting on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. We went into a brief executive session at 6:25 p.m., and now we are back in open session at approximately 6:43 p.m. We are going to start things off with our Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, so we have several different appointments and items, but I think I would like to hold some of our more rote items so that we can dive right into a meeting here with Mr. Ryan, who has come to see us.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and I'd just like to give a shout out to Selectman Plasko. I hope he's feeling better and hope to see him back real soon. Just give you an update on a lot of the ongoings with Public Works. Today we met with the annual resurfacing contractor. Pawtucket Paving is the company. We've had them in town before. They did all the municipal lots about 5 years ago. They're a very reputable company, so we met today to start planning the roads we're going to be doing this year. We have $3.9 million worth of work, about 35 streets are going to be done, so we anticipate mobilization in the next couple of weeks. The intersection project at Upland Road, Washington, and Prospect Street, even though that's a Mass DOT job, we try to keep our involvement as much as possible on that. We meet every other week with the contractor in Mass DOT. In fact, we're meeting tomorrow with them just to get updates, express any concerns that we have or the public has. They've spent most of the winter, or all the winter actually, building a very elaborate retaining wall along the west side of 1A. They had to drill down into ledge to provide a secure foundation. That's been ongoing all winter, and now they're still doing some of that now. We'll see the gas company in shortly to replace their gas main in there. After that work is done, the state's going to be replacing there were two 24-inch drains that were found to be collapsing, so they've agreed to replace that, so that's going to be ongoing. We had hoped that this project would be completed by the end of this calendar year, but it looks like it's going to go into next construction season, so it'll probably be a mid-2026 that that project is completed. The Washington Street and Haddon Street signals, that project was bid. Coviello Electric out of North Reading is the contractor. We have met with them a couple of times. They've been submitting all their material submittals, as we call them, to make sure we're in agreement with the materials they're going to use, be it the signal cabinets, the signal heads, the lights, the wiring, etc. We anticipate to see them mid-June start doing some prep work out there, installing underground conduit across the different roadways. There are 9 intersections, putting in foundations, so they're going to be ramping up real soon on that. The water main cleaning and lining project for 2025 has started. Ducon Construction is the contractor. They've been here the last couple of years. They were the low bidder. We had very favorable bids on that. Right now they're working on Railroad Ave between Prospect Street and Washington Street. That work will involve cleaning and lining the water main and eventually replacing all the water services along that stretch from the water main to basically the back of sidewalk. After that, they'll be heading to the Gay Street, West Border Road neighborhood, and then Shaw Street and Lenox Ave. The The water tank replacement, as you know, town meeting authorized an additional $3.7 million in borrowing for that. That paperwork was sent to the state. The state is managing these state revolving fund. We received a loan with favorable interest rates of 2.4%, so the state needed that paperwork from town meeting. That was submitted last week, waiting to hear from them, and then they'll give the authorization to give the notice to proceed to the contractor. So we hope to have something going on this July out there, so that's looking forward to that. The cemetery is busy all year long. This time of year is really their peak season, trying to get it ready for Memorial Day, and Charlie Walsh and his crew did a fabulous job once again, getting it ready, mowing and trimming around all the different rainstorms, putting the flowers out, just beautifying the cemetery, putting down pre-emergent and post-emergent applications to the turf to help things grow and to minimize the amount of weeds that grow up there. We met with Derek Winterstrand, the Veterans Agent, on Memorial Day festivities, and worked out different responsibilities there, and that went well. And to date, there have been 81 burials at Highland Cemetery. 62 of them are full burials, and 19 are cremations. Old Parish Cemetery, as you know, CPC provided $530,000 in funds to do improvements. We've replaced 1,100 feet of 6-foot ornamental fence. We just met with the consultant and they're finalizing the bid package to do the 2 entrances, so we look forward for that to be a late summer, fall project there. And that'll be really special once that is done. The fence looks great, but this will really bring it all together. Parks and Highway is busy. They're busy all year, just like all the other departments. They're out there maintaining the ball fields. The spring is especially challenging to them with all the rainstorms. The diamond ball fields, they get it ready, it rains, they got to go back, pump it out, let it dry, rake it out, add drying agent. It's just nonstop, and kudos to them. They've been working their butt off getting it ready. So they're working hard there. They're installing a concrete pad outside the police station. This will allow the police officers to get outside during their breaks and get some fresh air and maybe enjoy a meal or something. So DPW is out doing that. Did the first poll last week. The second poll will be this week. Household Hazardous Waste Day is June 7th, so keep that in mind. And then we have the second one, September 27th, but the one to focus on is June 7th. The Willett Ball Field, if you've been down there, we have our own Green Monster down there. That field was built in 2004, and we've repainted it a couple of times, and we just repainted it again. And that color there is actually a specified Green Monster green paint, so it's true to its namesake down there. DPW spent a lot of time in the airport playground getting that prepped for the synthetic turf install. It's very detailed install, so they had to put a nailer board into the concrete curbing all around it, and then put down what they call this dynamic stone for a base, and very fine grading. They did a fabulous job on that. And the grand opening on that, as everyone knows, was May 16th. DPW hosted the Touch-a-Truck event on May 17th, and that was well attended. We love doing that, showing off all the equipment, town meeting, and the Selectmen and FinCom all support, so we love showing that stuff off. DPW worked with Light Department facilities, getting Central Street all set up in front of the theater and the Common, and we've also started some of the outdoor dining setup. In particular, Lewis's has been done. A couple of years ago, Tom Cummings said, "Mark, why isn't the flags all the way up and down Washington Street?" So we said, well, let's do it. So every Memorial Day and then every Veterans Day, we put out the U.S. flags right down Washington Street from Howard Street right to Short Street. So I think that looks pretty special when we do that. And we coordinate the Memorial Day Parade, road closures. We wanted to keep vehicle traffic completely away from the parade participants, and we believe that worked out great. We worked with the police department on that, and Derek Winterstrand, and the cemetery department, so everything went well as far as we could tell. Washington Street Bridge over the Hawes Brook, capital outlay, fiscal '25 appropriated $850,000 for that project. We've kind of stepped back on that. The project's all designed and ready to go, but, you know, with the pool going on and the Coakley being finalized, and then we've got the Ivic tennis courts going to be done over, we're going to do a spring construction on that, and that'll work out just right for bidding season as well, because contractors will be hungry to get the new construction season off with a nice project like that. The Westover Parkway Bridge Culvert, that's a bridge carrying Westover Parkway over the Germany Brook near the entrance to the Willard School. That was bid last November, and we've been just waiting for school to get out. So as soon as school gets out, which is June 18th, I think the week after, we're going to mobilize, and Westover Parkway will be closed at that point for 10 to 12 weeks to do that work there. And that money is, that project's totally funded with ARPA funding from the federal government. And we actually have a project meeting tomorrow with the contractor to finalize some of the things. Meadowbrook Drain, the channel project, that's ARPA funding as well. We did some tree felling in March. We wanted to get the trees dropped that needed to come down before the tricolor bat would come up here and nest up there, so we didn't want them nesting. You know, they would migrate up here and nest in a tree we're going to take down, so we took down the trees before they came up here. So those trees are down, but right after July 4th, the contractor will come in, start removing those trees, and then cleaning up the channel. And we do that, we wait for that because the water flow in the channel is typically a lot lower than the springtime. Hennessy Basin design is ongoing. We anticipate 100% permit design and plans and specs by September of '26. It's a very involved permit process. Robin Wood Drain project was designed and supervised by the engineering department. That project was started late February and is completed, and the roadway will be paved this summer, and that was funded through ARPA funding as well. Airport Playground, we spent a lot of time, like I said, out there on that. Engineering department was busy doing Robin Wood Drain design and supervision, construction layout, and managing the construction of a playground at the Savage Center. We worked with facilities on that, designed the old parish entrances with a consultant, designed the new project for the pickle courts at Savage Center, tennis courts at the Ivets at the Coakley, plus the Savage parking lot. And we actually started work on the Savage parking lot today, so it's busy there. We're finalizing plans for the Bald School handicap ramp, and those bids we anticipated going out, I think it's June 17th, I want to say, but that will be a project that will be done during July and August. And we worked quite a bit on developing stormwater regulations, and we are having a hearing Thursday night to finally adopt those. So with that, Madam Chair, I'm out of breath and answer any questions.
Excellent. Being mindful of time, I do still want to give us the opportunity if you have any further questions or comments for Mr. Ryan before we have our hearing at 7 p.m. We'll start over here with Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you for being here, Mr. Ryan. A lot of stuff going on, which is great. We appreciate the work that you and the team does. Just a quick question on the water tank project. I think you had said potentially July-ish, August. Any disruption to anything that might be taking place on the athletic fields at the high school, staging-wise, or is that?
It's all within the fence line.
Yeah.
And the contractor is provisions in there. If there's an activity going on, they have to minimize noise. But most of those activities will be during the weekend or at night, so we don't anticipate any issues with that.
No, thank you. We appreciate all that you do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Mr. Sack?
Oh, Mark, great job. A lot on your plate. We have to look into the Tasso's restaurant. I was down there a week ago, and there's a lot of activity with the playground, but there's no place, porta potties. I don't know if I mentioned to Tony about getting a couple of one at least down at porta potty, because there's no place for anyone to go to the bathroom down there. So you kind of look into that.
Yeah, we can reach out to the airport commission on that.
Okay. And then maybe if we can get a couple spots, maybe 8 or 10 for her, just temporary line which says, Tony shaking his head.
Yeah, we can't, so that's an airport parking lot.
Yeah.
The parking lot has to be for everyone. We can't sublease private parking to a business down there for airport land. It's not allowed under our grant assurances.
Okay.
That's true.
All right, other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Donnelly?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to thank Mr. Ryan for spending some time with me on TV, on NCM, promoting the food composting program, which it's been running pretty well, but we've been able to extend the time frame for the compost pilot through September of this year, and we're now sitting at about 670 residents that are participating in it and have room for 30 more. So just doing a pitch to folks listening that the compost program is still around here in Norwood through September of this year, and those folks that are interested in participating in it can go on to the blackearth.com, blackearthcomposting.com website and type in your Norwood address, and we'll bring you to the registration information. So I want to thank you for your spending time with me on NCM, but also for your support, both past and in the future, for the program. Mr. Ryan, thank you very much.
And then the only thing I had for you was just gratitude. I was able to go to the playground at the airport, to the Old Parish, to the Highland, and everything is just looking fantastic. And I just hope residents really get out in the nice weather and enjoy these spaces, because they're looking wonderful, and you all are doing a great job.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So I believe that's all we have for you this evening. Thank you so much for
Great.
coming in. I
you.
really
Thank you,
appreciate all the
Mr. Ryan.
updates.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, Mark, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we are looking at 7 PM. We have a Class 2 hearing. Do we know if the no-name auto representatives are here?
See, they're here. I'm not sure whether they were planning
Sure.
here or not.
Great. Oh, excellent. Have them come on in. Welcome. Have a seat.
Set that up over there.
Thank you. And so this is for a Class 2 hearing, No Name Auto Repair and Sales, Inc. If we could read the notice into the record.
Notice is hereby given under Mass General Law, Chapter 140, and amendments thereto, that No Name Auto Repair and Sales Incorporated, County Deputy Manager of Record, has submitted an application for a new Class 2 auto dealership located at 64 Broadway, Norwood, Massachusetts. Public hearing on this application will be held on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, at 7 p.m. in the Harry B. Butters Chambers, room 34 in Norwood Town Hall.
Thank you. Welcome. We'll go ahead and we'll have you introduce yourselves for the benefit of the public record. And then after you talk through, we'll also take questions from the board if any board members have questions. So why don't we go ahead and start off, and you can introduce yourself.
My name is Manuel Paiva. I reside at 20 Varsity Place in Bridgewater, Mass. I represent the manager, and I'm a project manager.
Thank you.
Hey, my name is Hamichek McGilly. I'm the owner of the No Name Auto Repair and Tire Service. I'm a technician myself and advisor. Yeah, I'm fixing cars.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for coming in tonight. I see you've brought some material with us for visual
Right,
aid for us.
A quick presentation for you. So the cover slide here is showing you the parcel right by the railroad tracks, nested on the side that's commercial, highlighted in yellow. Right here. These were part of the submission also. There's the survey of the property, 3 buildings. The lot is paved, lot line to lot line. This back building was built in 1950 based on town records, and the 2 buildings here were built in the 40s. And I've got, so if I go here, that building is known as Building 1 on the assessors map. There is the floor plan for Building 1. There was 1 bay door, 2 above ground lifts, and a restroom. That's the back one, Building 1. This is the elevation of the building. was a subject of a sign approval. The only sign that's up right now, they're all banners, non-illuminated, is the one over the store. That's building 1. And then building 2 is the front building closest to the street. It's back over here. My light won't work, there we go. And inside that building is an office, office, and a waiting area in the restroom, and building 2, that's 3. It's got 2 bays, an above-ground lift, and a mezzanine. And this is what the front of that building looks like, with the 2 approved banners. They have not been installed. This one is sideways, I apologize, but this is showing that we could line, again, there's no line spaces, we could line 10 spaces on the site, not conflict with any of the driveway. There's one driveway here and one driveway here that straddles the property line with a van accessible space, 8-foot space, 8-foot patch. And the last one is where the proposed vehicles for sale would be housed, which is in back of building 1. In this door, you could put the 3 vehicles for sale in the back, not beyond the lot, still have access to the 2 bays, the above-ground lifts. And that was all in the application. This July will be 1-year anniversary of operating at this location. And that was my presentation. There were 25 abutters. I have the green cards right here. I've got 17 back, 8 I'm not back, and I've indicated them here with the proof of mail, and I just haven't got them yet. So I'd like to present these to the board, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let the rest of the board digest these while we're continuing to chat. You want to take a look? Anybody else interested in skimming through?
No, thank you.
All right. Christie, I'll have you take these. Thank you. All right.
And again, we're here for a license.
Excellent, thank you.
And the operator is here who manages the facility.
Great. All right, well, I am going to open it up for questions from the board. Mr. Sapp?
Good evening, thanks for coming tonight. I know the area a little bit, being a hometownie. My thought was, and I want you to give us some thought, on this left side of the parcel, this is a grass strip on your left side, between the other plaza on the left.
Okay, as you face it,
Yeah, from Broadway,
there's a curb there, and I think it's a change in elevation.
a little
to
bit.
Old Town.
Yeah, that's, but I didn't see any grass. But my question is, what's the chance of just putting like a 4-foot fence there, like right to the edge, like 10 feet in from the edge, to delineate your lot from their lot? Because what happens a lot of times is, when you're pushing the snow or something during the wintertime, that snow's going on their lot, and then it becomes a real hassle for that owner and your owner and everybody else. And in the front of the building, and if you could put something maybe in the front here, it'll make it look cute. I know the building's old, but it's in a viable downtown district. And if we could beautify a little with maybe a couple trees would be very great. But my question is, these red spots, are these determined for customers, not for sale?
No, they're not for sale. It was just, in the application, it was how many line spaces, well, there's none.
Okay.
So I had just created that to show that we could line 10 spaces with an ADA space.
Yeah, it's a pretty big lot.
And not interfere with any of the bay doors that are operating, not interfere with any driveways coming in and out. And on the right side of the building, there's enough space for the space and 24 feet behind it. And cars are packing over there now anyways.
And you're gonna put the for sale signs out, the cars out back?
No, the cars for sale will be the 3 in that back building,
Inside?
inside.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think if you could accommodate maybe the neighborhood or the area with a small fence
The
here
fence
and a
on the
fence
left
out
side and a
front,
small-
make it look cute, that'd be great. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and good luck. Welcome to Norwood.
Thanks so much.
All right. That's that, Madam Chair.
All right, Mr. Lane?
Thanks. I have just a couple questions. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So the existing 3-bay garage that's in the back, that's where you currently do work on cars.
Yes.
So we're saying that now will be where you would sell cars from?
In the back corners, so the building kind of comes in an angle.
Yeah.
So there's enough space in that back corner where 3 vehicles for sale could.
And that's the
park back there.
drawing in the package? with the
Yes,
3?
yes, sir.
So where else would cars be getting worked on? I'm just a little confused.
So there's 2 bays there, so if I
Right.
can show you this.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So in building 1,
Yep,
so we have the 3 cars for sale here.
yep,
Cars still come in here, this is 1 lift and 1 lift. They kind of, and these were here when the manager got the lot. So here's the 2 cars to be worked on, the cars come out. And then in the second building, there's a lift here, so 1 car's worked on here and 1 car here. So there could be 4 cars repaired at a time. 2 in building 3 and 2 in building 1.
okay. 2 in building 3, 2 in building 1. And then the 3 cars for sale would be stored inside.
Yes.
In this back corner.
So you're not looking to do a ton of car sales, I would
No,
imagine?
definitely not.
Because I just think that the concern for us is overflow. You know, if you do a really good job, then you're selling a lot of cars.
No, that's not my our plan. What we are planning to do, focus on repair, fixing the car. And
Which is what you do now, yeah?
Yeah.
I took my car
trying
there,
to
it's great.
best on
Yeah,
the town. But we also want to put a couple option in the garage, but it's not gonna go over than like 3. So I will just put a couple cars and it's not gonna be a dealership.
right, right. No, I get that point. And I think with the application, I think there was some missing information. Christine, I don't know if that was me or not, but hold on, I have it here, sorry. On the application for license from the Commonwealth, there's some questions on the second page that just weren't filled out. Are we looking at the same thing? You had signed it, but it looks like after question number 5,
That's the blue text.
yeah. Which is not a deal breaker or anything for me, I just think that we would want
Okay.
everything to be completed. Because I think that's where you would have had space to clarify that it was the 3 cars and all that, which you're answering right now, which is great, so just,
You can backfill that and get that.
yeah, just assuming that everything goes well, I think we would just want to make sure that that was all filled out.
Sure.
But, yeah, I like the idea of delineating the parking spaces, like Mr. Sad said, and keeping it neat, because I think they're not lined currently, correct? Or-
Correct.
Yeah, so that looks great. And then you would have to go through site plan review with the planning board? Is that,
That was on the building department sign off. It said site plan review.
okay, that's just through Gary's office?
Well, yeah, it's planning board, it's through the community development office. And just a reminder, any licenses issued by the board don't remove you from any liability or any liability or requirement to get any other licenses that are legally required to
Right.
operate. So site plan approval is an example. The board granting the license is just the license to operate the building or operate the business. Any planning, zoning, or conservation requirements you'd still have to follow, or health, although I don't think health applies in your
Yeah.
particular case.
And that's what it says when Gary's signed off there, too. Good, great. I don't have any further questions, so thank you.
Just a follow-up question like that. Our approval tonight allows them to operate, or do they have to wait for the site plan review
It's
process
the li-
by the planning
it-
board?
It's the license to operate. It depends on what they're actually changing on the site, whether or not they need to complete that process first.
Okay.
I know it gets a little complicated because of the cross-jurisdictional nature of it, but sometimes it's a chicken and the egg thing as well, is where do you get that approval from first? They can't go through that process if they're
Sure.
not gonna have a license and actually operate the business. So sometimes the selectmen are asked to be the sort of first over the finish line to say you are hereby allowed to go and do it, but other boards have to have their approval as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
And then I only had a small question on the lining, which is it's currently unlined, and you've charted out where you could line. Do you intend to line? Like, you've listed that you could line it, but do you actually intend to do that or to leave it unlined?
We had done that thinking it was a requirement, or it will be when we get the planning board. Planning board is
Okay.
definitely gonna wanna see
Yeah.
how you're gonna line them
Yeah.
without blocking internal maneuverability for fire and police and, so, yeah, if it was a condition, we'd definitely line them. I mean, that's where the cars are parking today, pretty much the way you're seeing this
Right.
laid out.
Excellent. All right, I have no further questions as well. So since this is a public hearing, I will see if there are any members of the public present who wish to make a comment at this time.
Do you want me to just check the hall?
Yeah,
since
check
we
the
have a few
hall,
folks
see
out there?
if anyone who was here for public comments.
Is anyone here for the no-name auto hearing? No? No, all right.
All right. Seeing none,
I'll make a
then.
motion to close the public
All right.
hearing, Madam
A
Chair.
motion made by Mr. Donnelly and seconded by Mr. Lane to close the public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, unanimous. All right, do I have a motion on item 4.2?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the application for a new Class 2 auto dealership license located at 64 Broadway, Norwood, Massachusetts, 02062.
All right, motion made by Mr. Lane. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
Oh, second, but on that motion, I just want to throw it out there for that fencing and the beautification, so they stick with that. But I second it.
All right. Seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank you
for
for coming
If
in.
any more like cards float in, I'll bring them to the.
Excellent, thank you.
Great, thank you. Good
Good
luck.
luck, welcome to
Thank
Norwood.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's a pleasure to make a business here and give a service in Norwood Town.
Thank you
Thank
for being in
you.
the
Thanks a lot.
community.
It's a great town, best one in New England.
Thank you too.
Take care.
I'll stop in and see you in the next couple of days.
That will be my pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, so this brings us right to 7:13. We have a 7:15 joint meeting with the Housing Authority. So that gives me about a minute to try to knock out a couple small items. So I think I would like to start off with item number 2, warrant signature update, submitting notification to review and approved warrant reports signed by the board's representative. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Chair also says aye, it's unanimous. And then we'll do item number 3, meeting minutes for approval of the board. These are the meeting minutes from April 22nd, 2025 and May 6th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes from both dates.
Moved by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Lane. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Unanimous. All right, why don't we go ahead and start having the Housing Authority go ahead and file in, and we'll get them all situated. Yeah, we make sure we have a couple extra chairs in case we have members of
Bill,
the
why don't you
public here to
grab that
observe.
chair right there and
Yeah,
sit
there you
next to
go.
Jeff?
Perfect. Welcome. Oh, here, Bill, you want to grab this one?
Hey, Bill? Bill?
Here, we need a
You can
couple.
take that one. Okay.
Yeah, here, bring him the hard chair. There you go.
Bill, Tony's got a chair for you.
There you go. Come on in. Yep, come in, Sean. Yep, come on in.
I know, yeah, I have friends. High school.
All right. Does everybody have a spot? Oh, did you have a seat? Okay, well, here, you can we can bring a chair to the side for you. Yeah. There you go. Welcome, thank you. So this is a joint meeting between the Board of Selectmen and the Norwood Housing Authority. And this is for discussion and vote on the appointment to fill a vacancy on the Norwood Housing Authority. Since this is a joint meeting, the joint meeting will need a chair. So I will take a motion to that effect so we can get started.
I'll make a motion for both boards to appoint Amanda Grow as chair for the joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and Norwood Housing Authority.
Second? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, unanimous. All right, we will begin our joint meeting. This is exciting. This is my first joint meeting, so it'll be a good time. And just to catch us up, we had received applications both to the Housing Authority and to the Select Board, and each board had been given copies of the submissions to review. We'd elected not to do interviews and felt that we had enough material from the applications that we could have a healthy discussion and hopefully have a decision. And so with that, I believe I would like to begin on the Housing Authority. Whoever would like to speak first.
Jim, you want to speak? As the housing board, we met and we decided that we'd all make a recommendation, take a vote when it's appropriate, according to the chairperson, and see how the select board feels and go with the vote.
Excellent. All right. So, and then on the board side, do we have any comments from the board unless the manager?
Just a recommendation, maybe we could have the Housing Authority introduce themselves.
Yes, thank you.
Here, in this venue, and we wouldn't want them to sit there without being given a chance to introduce
That is
themselves.
correct. All right. So we will go ahead and give introductions for the benefit of the public record.
Okay, I am the chairperson, Kevin Flaherty, and I'm the state appointee.
Excellent.
Jennifer Polito, I'm the treasurer.
I'm Gary Cooper, I'm the facilities director at Noah Housing.
Christine Diaz, I'm the assistant treasurer.
I'm Judy Langone, and I'm vice chair.
And I'm Sean Barnacle, the executive director.
Excellent. Thank you. All right.
Madam Chair, so if I could just express just, first of all, sympathy for the loss of your long-term member Patty Starr, and as I understand it, this is the vacancy to complete Patty's term. If you could just give us a little more detail in terms of the remaining time of the vacancy, if you could?
I believe it's next April.
1 year, yeah.
Yes, it's next April, she would have been up for election.
Okay. So it's finishing the term for about another year? Then?
Yes.
And then, okay. And then at that point in time, it becomes a vacancy that you as the authority are solely responsible for, and you won't have us involved in that process.
Correct, it'd be a town election.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Sean, I don't know if you have like an elevator speech that you give people when they ask, what does the Housing Authority do? I don't know if that might be helpful for people at home, or if anyone on the board would.
Sure. We provide low and moderate income housing to our wonderful town community. We have 481 units across the town, and we're just here to provide what is needed in the town.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and just personally, in the last few years, I know there's been really good collaboration in going for some of the community preservation funds, which we can put back into the buildings there, which I'm sure, Gary, you appreciate. But some really good stuff going on there. So thank you for all the work that you all do, and Sean for your leadership too.
Thank you.
And then for Mr. Donald, do you have further concern?
No concerns. No. But I'm prepared to begin deliberations if the board chair so wishes. So,
very well.
So, thank you, Mr. Barnacle, for forwarding to us the applications for the individuals for consideration for this particular opening. We received, and you received as well, for letters of interest, all folks who certainly have a sincere interest and good qualifications for the position of Norwood Housing Authority member. At this time, in the interest of just further deliberation and discussion, I would like to propose or put forward a motion to approve a member, if that's appropriate at this time, for consideration.
All right. I believe.
I'll second the motion to be made.
So I would like to nominate from the four that we've submitted and then speak to that nomination. I would like to nominate Mr. Michael Fitzgibbon of Garfield Avenue. So I'll make that motion and speak to it in a moment.
Mm-hmm. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Lane on the nomination.
And I put forward Mr. Fitzgibbon's nomination because of all the letters of interest. I thought he had the one that most directly has an application to the board, to the work that Norwood Housing Authority does. I note that Mr. Fitzgibbon, in his letter of interest, has recently retired from a engineering and manufacturing position for Defense Contract Management Agency. But I'm also impressed with the fact that He has also been a past volunteer in a public body here in Norwood, having been a member of Norwood's Permanent Building Construction Committee, PBCC, for some time. And I also note also an additional volunteer opportunity that he's put his name forward for to serve, working with the town clerk as a ballot clerk for the state primary election, just as well as the recent town election. So I believe he put forward some very good qualifications, and that would be my nomination. I thank you for listening to me.
All right. All right. Do we have other nominations from either board?
I agree with Mr. Donnelly. Mr. Fitzgibbons would be a great asset to the board, I believe. Looking at his resume, and he'll come in handy for us in the coming years.
Do we have any other nominations?
No, not a nomination.
Further comment?
Just comment, just to voice appreciation for the people that did apply. I think that's great that we got so much interest. And I think it just goes to show the work that you do and the environment that you've created there. So it's hard, these things are hard because you want to give everyone an opportunity. But with Mr. Donnelly, I agree that Mr. Fitzgibbons presented a good case for being a part of the Housing Authority.
All right. Any further nominations? Seeing none, then I will close nominations. Do I need a motion to close nominations?
No, we can just move forward with a vote on the one nomination if that's all that came forward. If you had gotten multiples, we'd probably do some round robins.
Just a question of point of information, if you will. Is the process for a joint meeting for all of us to vote in one vote, or we defer to each board to vote separately on that?
We need a total
It's a
of
joint
6
vote, and it's
votes.
a majority of the total.
Yeah.
So you might want to just do a hand raise or something when it comes up, or
Yeah,
ayes.
that's
If there's no no's, then you know it's unanimous.
Yeah. Would a hand raise be acceptable for everybody?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion before we move into voting then? Mr. Sad?
I kind of want to just reiterate Mr. Lane and Mr. Donnelly. All the applications were wonderful, that they're putting their time in. And I know that this Michael Fitzgibbons was on the NBA board when my kid was playing as treasurer, and very involved with the town, and his resume is pretty impeccable. And so I just wanted to throw that out there for the people that put their name forward, and for the other one that Bob had nominated and you people had nominated. So that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sad. All right. Well, then I believe that we can move into voting, which we are going to perform by a show of hands. As a reminder, we're looking for 6 votes in agreement in order to be on the same page here. So I will, at this time, all those in favor of the nomination of Mike Fitzgibbon, please raise your hand. Either hand is acceptable. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any opposed? No opposed. All right, 8 in favor, no opposed. So it looks like we have an appointment.
And if I may, Madam Chair,
yes.
I just wanted to emphasize this was a difficult position for us to fill. Patty was much, much more than just a commissioner. She was a friend to all of us. So we're excited to have Mr. Fitzgibbon join us, but Patty's going to be with us forever. So I appreciate you guys taking the time and meeting with us.
I absolutely agree. There's going to be difficult shoes to fill, and I'm so glad that we had many people interested, and it's hard to choose from among everybody, but yeah, totally agree with the sentiment. All right, so is there anything further that we need procedurally? It's not a public hearing.
With the housing authority, just say a couple of quick words.
Is that out of order?
As the chair, you can allow it if it's brief. It's not really on the agenda. It's your discretion.
Brief? I'll allow it.
Okay. I'm a little bit disappointed. I had approached from the Central Intelligence Agency 2002, just the facts. So I had my hopes up high. I think I had my hopes up high, pretty high. So, but it seems like all the time when you come to the meetings, it seems like you shoot high, but you think you're going to do much better than you actually do. But you think, like that. But I was approached Central Intelligence Agency in like 2002. You can see the code I have. It's proof that I was Central Intelligence agent. But the Housing Authority, I think I've seen my days. I was a candidate for a while, but I'm going to miss you folks. I'm going to really miss you folks, really. Judy, like Judy, go to the meetings and hope Judy wins all the time. Christine, Sean, Jenny. Jenny, I was gonna ask Jenny, I calculated the amount of signs that you had when you ran against me. I was gonna say that the number of signs you had was the same age as you.
That's your
Is that
brain.
wrong?
This isn't
Okay, that's
quite
all.
the,
Okay.
yeah, this isn't quite
As
the
I said,
forum for
as I
that.
said, okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying, Mr.
Time
Brown.
in politics, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. With that, I
You
believe,
can just declare the joint meeting
Yeah.
closed and move on to our
all right,
next item
so
on our
we
agenda.
will dissolve the joint meeting, and we really appreciate everyone coming in tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much.
Good night, Bill.
Take care. All right, so we-
Night.
have a good night.
Bye, Sean.
Thank you.
I was kind of hoping you'd wear your Dancing with the Stars outfit, but
I know.
I'm
Bring
the
disappointed.
trophy.
Next time,
Used to be up front, right? All right, so we are at 7:27. Oh, it's okay, thank you. All right, so that's, next, we actually have a little bit of time, as our next appointment isn't until 7:40. It is currently 7:28, so let's see if we can do a few more items. All right, so, as before, I continue with the procedure of consent agenda to help us trim down on the meeting. I'm going to go through our list of new business here, and as usual, if you have an item that you feel you want to have discussion on, just call hold, and I'll mark it a hold. And then we will otherwise try to approve a whole bunch of these all at once to save ourselves a little time. So I'm going to go down the list of items, and I'll start with item 5.1, which is a change of entity name, which is Herb Chambers of Norwood submitting an application for a change of entity name only from Herb Chambers of Norwood, Inc., doing business as Herb Chambers Lincoln Norwood, to Ashbury Norwood LNC LLC, doing business as Herb Chambers Lincoln Norwood. The next item would be 5.2, change of entity name Herb Chambers Boston Turnpike, Inc., submitting application and supporting documents for change of entity name from Herb Chambers Boston Turnpike, Inc., DBA Herb Chambers Volvo Cars Norwood, to Ashbury Norwood LNC LLC, doing business of Herb Chambers Volvo Cars Norwood. Item 5.3, one-day liquor permit, Hometown Arcade, submitting a request for a one-day liquor permit for a New England Patriots team night out on Friday, May 30th, 2025, from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. at Hometown Arcade, with approximately 100 guests expected. Item 5.4, 5K road race request, Austin Reardon Memorial Road Race. This is submitting a request to hold the annual Austin Reardon Memorial Race on Sunday, October 12th at 10 a.m. in memory of NHS graduate Austin Reardon. The race will begin at the Knights of Columbus, turn left onto Willett Parkway, around to Westover Park, onto Devon, Abel Marble Harrow to Croydon, hope I said that one right, and back to Knights of Columbus. Item 5.5, I have a hold on, which we'll come back to. Item 5.6 will be a town common use request by the Metro West Nepali community. This would be from submitting requests to use the town common and Dempsey Bandstand for a Nepali Women's Festival on Saturday, August 9th, 2025, from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. with approximately 60 guests expected. Item 5.7, Central Street use, Norwood Recreation Department, and this will be submitting requests for the use of Central Street for a paint night on Monday, July 28th, 2025, 6 p.m. until 7 p.m., approximately 31 guests expected. This request also includes reserving some of the picnic tables for the attendees. Item 5.8, block party request, Plantation Circle. And this would be Greg Cataldo of 154 Plantation Circle, submitting requests to block off a section of the street, including numbers 147, 154, 157, and 167, for a block party on Saturday, May 31st, 2025, from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. Item number 5.9, sign placement request by St. Catherine of Siena School. This would be submitting requests to place a few lawn signs in visible public locations around town, all four sides of Town Common and near the post office. Item 5.10, it's a gardening request at the Cookie, intersection of Cypress and Lincoln Street. Submitting requests to plan and maintain a garden at the Cookie, located at the intersection of Cypress and Lincoln Streets. Would be a gardener who would be maintaining the garden and also finance installation and maintenance of the plants and the beds. Item 5.11, Car Wash, Norwood Girls Lacrosse. This is submitting a request to hold a car wash on Saturday, June 21st, 2025, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the municipal lot. I'm going to put a hold on items 5.12 and 5.13. But for all the items that do not have a hold on them, do I have a motion?
Oh, yeah, I will move for approval 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, 5.10, and 5.11.
All right, moved by Mr. Donnelly. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Madam Chair, on the motion, just because our senior member is in there, the 5.3, are we sure that the Patriots are involved with this?
I did personally follow up on this item specifically
Okay.
because of past
Yeah.
questions. So we
Perfect.
did verify and ensure, and they were also able to provide the contact information to us. That wasn't just me going and looking myself. They offered it proactively,
Perfect.
so it seemed like we would be on the same page and everything seemed fine. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All aye, chair votes aye. All opposed? All right, unanimous. All right, so we are at 7:33. Is it appropriate if the applicant is here to take them a little early, or is it inappropriate? If it's a public hearing, maybe not, but.
It's a show cause continuance. I would do a few other items if you can first, just in the event somebody were to come for that, because I don't anticipate that being too long. I could be wrong. I think that'll only be 5 minutes. I'd hate to dispense with it before the whole,
Yeah.
before the time is hit.
Why don't we try item number 6, memoranda, as I'm not expecting a huge amount of deliberation on items in item 6. Do I have a motion on memoranda?
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Sad. Do I have a
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Donnelly. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. All right. Let's see, it's probably not enough time to go through the DPU report and then conservation. Why don't we try to talk about the conservation reappointment, because I'm not expecting that to be controversial. So if we jump to item 5.12, this is the Conservation Commission reappointment. And this is the item to reappoint Kelsey Quinlan to the Conservation Commission for a 3-year term that will expire in May of 2028.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Lane. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Donnelly. Any discussion on this item?
Just like to congratulate Ms. Quinlan for not only her anticipated reappointment, but Ms. Quinlan has just recently been elected chair of the Conservation Commission, too, so I congratulate her on her appointment as chair.
That's great. All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, then we'll go ahead and take a vote. All in favor of the reappointment, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. All right. We've got 5 more minutes. Mr. Donnelly, I know that you had a hold on item 5.5. Do you think we can get through it in 5 minutes? All right.
I don't think I have a lot to say here.
Oh, and just for clarity, because I didn't read it earlier, this is a request that we got for town common use from the School of Rock, and they're submitting a request to use the town common and Dempsey Bandstand for a live music showcase on Sunday, September 28th, 2025, from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m., with approximately 50 attendees expected. And Mr. Donnelly, I'll recognize you for discussion.
Sure. So I believe we've approved this in the past, and I'll certainly support it this evening. I just wanted to make sure that, given the time that is requested, it's a 6-hour block of time on a Sunday afternoon in September, that the 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. slot includes the time I would assume a band or bands would need to organize and get on the gazebo. So if they intended to access the gazebo prior to noontime, for example, that they would come before us and ask for that. As it is a 6-hour time frame, it's unusual for us to extend that amount of time for the gazebo to be occupied. And I believe that's the case, but Tony, if you could just confirm that with them. The only other thing I wanted to say about this is, and I think this is fine, this is an organization that's done this before, there's a number of young folks in particular who attend the School of Rock. It's a good organization. I know but they are a private organization, and I just want to make sure that we're comfortable that given that their contribution to the community is documented well enough and understood well enough so that we're not having a perception that we're picking and choosing what private organizations we will approve for use of the gazebo and those that we don't. Because I think we've had some concerns in the past of activity occurring on public property that could be conceived or perceived rather as promotional for a private business. And I don't believe that this is that, but I just want to make that statement clear for future consideration by the board, that maybe we need to dive in a little more to some requests to make sure that that the use of the public space is by an organization that is supportive of Norwood and the community, and that's all I need to say about that.
Excellent. Any further discussion on item 5.5? Mr. Sad?
I agree with Mr. Donnelly, but I think 6 hours is a little bit too much time for the seniors and the people that go down to the ice cream section out there, or the section that sit on the benches we put out there with the grass. I think maybe 4 hours is enough, but it's up to the board to decide. I just think 6 hours is a long time to be listening to hard rock music when you're a senior out there sitting on the park benches that we put out there.
Do we know, I know they're called the School of Rock, but do we know, are they specifically always rock? Like, is it really going to be rock the whole time, or are they going to be also doing acoustic and other
it's
calmer?
kids. They're playing,
Yeah.
I mean, rock in the sense that the last 60 years of rock is some what they play, so they could be playing the Beatles. I mean, Nick trains these kids very well. They play a whole variety of music, and we've never gotten a noise complaint about it.
Okay, good.
And that's not the same that we've had with other events. I think, to Mr. Donnelly's point, 6 hours is a lot, but that's their total time. I think the way the board has historically looked at these is there some sort of a public benefit? We want to help businesses, but there's other places you can do these things. In this case, it's music playing for 5 or 6 hours. Probably 4 hours if you take all the breaks out on the Common. That's a good thing. It brings people to the Common. It adds to the atmosphere. We certainly support our own concert series that has music down there. In the past, we've gotten a request for like a fitness class, and it was just for that business and their folks. And it's like, well, then there's no real public benefit that's truly marketing. I think a real estate or an insurance firm wanted to hold a class, and it's like, well, you just want people to be seen so you can say, look, it's being out here. This gives something to the public.
Right.
And I think that's the lens to first look at it, not just, do they donate or do good work elsewhere, but is there something that the public is sort of getting out of this? They get to see kids in the community and elsewhere, performing music, and, that's a good thing.
From my perspective, when it comes to music, particularly if we've, A, not had a ton of noise complaints, and B, music is culture, right? We do want to support culture in the community. The town center, we have been having concerts and other activities in that spirit of music as, cultural art. So I'm, even though it is a long time, if they're doing what's described here, which is a showcase, it means that they'll be rotating through different performances as opposed to one really long singular band. That felt to me in the spirit of some of our other activities, and it's a local group. Again, I would feel differently if this was, like you say, something that was more closed off or an outside group or things like that. So I'm okay with the time, and I'm okay with keeping an eye on it and seeing how it goes. And if we determine that that was too long, then we take that into consideration for future such requests, if that makes sense.
I will say that I think this school has also provided music at the farmers market.
Yes.
And which speaks to their contribution to the community. But it's been well received, and it's a variety of music. I mean, it's gone from a band to a couple of folks on guitar, so it varies quite a bit. It is a long period of time. I think the ice cream shops actually would benefit from an extended period of time, because on nights that we have Sunday and Wednesday concerts during the summer season, the downtown, the immediate stores, the ice cream shops and whatever in the area of the Common do great business during that time frame. So I think there'll be an economic advantage or a benefit to the area for such a schedule as this.
The concerts on the Common, what do they last, 3 hours?
We usually, they're 6:30 to 8:30, and they usually request access to the gazebo as early as 4 o'clock, just to couple
Set up.
hours to set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long have we run? I know a couple times we've had acoustics on Central a few times. How long did we have performers there?
Those are usually shorter and they're on Central Street. When it comes down to, all we're really restricting is the gazebo, and the music is not so loud that it would really hamper the enjoyment. Again, they keep it pretty low of the common as a whole. Given the number of people too, it's not like they're expecting, nor have they ever had 500 or 600 people, whereas a resident wouldn't be able to access the common or Central Street because it's so jam-packed. It's really just their local little music school. They do their showcase. They help out in other areas, and a lot of them are Norwood kids just playing music, and they all want to make it big, and we hope that they do, and then they remember their hometown.
All right, well, in the interest of being able to get to our appointment, we have a motion on this item.
Motion to approve the request from School of Rock.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, let us have our next appointment, which is Mr. Luke Adams. This is our show cause continuance. Do we have any language that we need to read in due to it being a show cause? Okay, excellent. Welcome. Doing good. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you. Excellent. All right. For the benefit of the public, we'll go ahead and have you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Luke Adams from Luke Adams Glass.
Rebecca Borgioli, Luke Adams Glass.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome. And just as a refresher, we've had you in to see us. We had been setting goalposts for you to meet for a period of time as we look at a show cause continuance. And so we are here tonight to hear your latest update.
So good news. You guys have in front of you the architect's affidavit of completing construction. So we're going to call for final inspection tomorrow morning, first thing, and we're all set and ready to go. The pictures there are just images from the designer of the first few pages there are the signage that we're hoping to get done soon once we're open.
And a lot of these are interior concept in terms of like furnishings and things like that.
It's furnished now. We're ready to be open, but those are just kind of things that we can continue to work on.
Pass this down. Excellent. All right, then I will see if you have comments, questions from the board.
I'll start off. I want to say congratulations, you stepped up to the plate, you made it home.
Thank you.
You had a home run down there in South Norwood, so I wish you all the luck. You put a lot of money on the line. It looks spectacular. I've been in there 3 or 4 times, and I've talked to you all those times, so I just can't wait for it to open, and just good luck to all your endeavors and dreams.
We'd love to have you down personally.
Thank you.
Other questions, comments, Mr. Lane?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for being here. I have recently viewed the site as well. It looks great. It's really exciting. I'm happy that we're at this point. Can you just talk a little bit about operations and sort of assuming the building department gives their sign off and everyone else does, what is the space going to look like on a daily basis?
So we're already able to serve alcohol, so we've been able to, it's been great for the students who come in now and do that. So right now we're doing classes 2 days a week. We're looking to try to expand that. So it's been a great addition to the classes. The next step for us is to be able to expand into food. So I've got a couple of people that have applied to lease the food space. So those are completed and they'll be inspected. They've been inspected by the Board of Health already, as is, and then the building inspector will make sure that everything is completed, as is the drawings. But then a lessee would come in and build out that space further, and if there was equipment that needed to be put in, the fire department approves that, and they kind of go from there.
And
so
systems, things like that.
Exactly. So everything is prepped and ready for someone to move in and take a space and do something with it. And so we'll kind of offer the food that the building, that the Board of Health said was appropriate for now until we get to the next stage. So we're eager to kind of keep going forward, but I've got some people that are interested in renting it now.
Yeah, I just sort of, the space looks really great, and I wish you much success, and thanks for following through and coming back a few times. So
I'm eager to have a drink. We were able to have a drink the other day. We're eager to have a drink with all of you guys at some point.
Yeah, it's really nice. So, and the design options are really exciting too. I think one thing I was thinking is that when things are kind of up and going, that trying to maybe do something with NCM where they would come on site just to promote the space, because I do think it's really unique, and that's sort of what we had talked about originally, is that the belief that this space was going to be something that no one in the surrounding area provides. And so I think you've come through on that end, and I really want to see you flourish. So
We've got a couple hundred students a weekend now that are coming in.
Yeah.
So it's just getting busier and busier, and we'll just kind of expand that throughout the week.
Definitely. Great. No further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Any further comments? Mr. Donnelly?
No, good luck tomorrow with the inspection. I know this has been a long process for you. You kept at it, and I wish you well in building out the space further. And haven't been there since the last meeting, so I'll give you a call, and I'll drop by to see it sometime this week if you don't mind.
Please.
But yeah, looking forward to see it fully operational. So, and I'm glad that the temporary arrangement for your bar space worked well in the interim too. So
That was a big help.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
good.
Yeah, it looks good. That part too.
No further questions, ma'am.
Thank you. And then so the questions I have are last steps to cross to make sure that we're continuing on our forward journey. And so describe a little bit more for me the next pieces of the puzzle.
So, like I said, we've been able to serve alcohol as up till now, but the center of the building where the restaurant seating has not been completed or inspected or approved for occupancy. So tomorrow's inspection will allow us to be open fully and open completely in the center section and in the upstairs. And so we've had the fire department and the building inspector in many times leading up to this, so there's no surprises tomorrow. It's just a final walkthrough, and once the architect gives his affidavit, that means that everything in the plans has been completed. So you can see there's a couple things I'd still like to add to the space once we're open, signage and just some additional decor stuff. But we're ready to be fully open at this point as soon as the building inspector's done.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Questions?
Does this mean we don't have to see him anymore?
Well, so that was
you
my
can
next.
you can see me down there anytime.
We'll see you in.
Yeah.
You can close the hearing at this point.
Do we need to offer any comment from the public formally?
No, the public comment portion is closed.
Great.
Long ago.
All right, then in that case, I will take a motion to close the continuance.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Lane, seconded by Mr. Sad. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. All right, and so with that, good luck tomorrow, and hopefully you won't have to come and see us anymore other than in fun context seeing you in the community.
I wanted to say I really appreciate all of your help. We really couldn't have done all of this without you guys' support and patience. So thank you very much for
Thank you to holding to your goalposts.
Take care.
Take care.
Never gives me a day's notice.
Light it up, Lou.
No, it's great.
Take
Have a
care,
great
everybody.
night. All right, so that should be the last of our appointments, and we got through all of our items except for item 5.13. This is the Municipal Light Department, the DPU report, which you all should have received a copy of and had plenty of time to review. And so with this, we're looking for both approval and signature on this, which I'll obviously entertain a motion for. Do we have any further discussion on item 5.13? Mr.
Just one
Mizuko.
small thing I point
Sure.
out every year. This is our annual report to the DPU, which is based on a calendar year. We do budget on a fiscal year, so it's just the way the world makes us,
Yeah.
way the state makes us do it. That's why it says a calendar year ended, and we're sometimes running in between the two. So every now and then a number in here doesn't always tie back to the budget because we're
Yeah.
looking at a calendar year closeout versus a fiscal year.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Sad.
One comment.
And a
No.
question from Mr. Donnelly.
So we file this, and I do second Mr. Sad's motion.
Seconded by
So
Mr.
we,
Donnelly.
What do we expect in return from DPU? Is this just formality, or do they typically have any kind of response from the Department of Public Utilities regarding our filing? All
Typically
depends.
not. I mean, it's one of those things where I would never say it's as simple as a formality. However, everyone submits one every year, and if you don't hear from them, all is good. They do keep the data. They publish the data online. Every now and then we have to interact with them. They may call us and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. We don't understand this number, what you're spending here, they're there. And we liaise with them and work through it.
And I noticed in the introductory letter from the firm that did the financial statements, this is not an audit, but is the Light Department part of our fiscal year audit? Do we have?
Correct, they're part of our
separately?
regular audit process. Remember, we're in a fiscal year, all-in fund, the auditors audit, all of that, that's everything we do, except this is a financial report we have to send for a calendar year ending date, which we used to be on a calendar year many, many years ago.
So the only comment, Madam Chair, is that the report itself is very enlightening. I will say that.
Love
Sorry.
it.
Sorry.
Remember, this is
Had to do it.
the next year is the tyranny of puns, because I love puns, so Mr. Donnelly will feed my pun needs for the entire year. It'll be excellent. Suffer. But thank you. Any further discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, we've had a motion made and seconded, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, we will get those signed. All right, that should take us down to the manager's update.
Just a couple of things. We'll be getting some capital projects out to the board shortly. Capital outlay will start there. We're starting our staff process. The committee itself will start meeting fairly soon. I think Mr. Donnelly chaired it last year, so I think he's said he wants to chair it again for the next couple of years. I distinctly remember hearing that. I hope everyone enjoyed Memorial Day. Kudos to all the different departments that made it happen. Derek, our veterans agent, did a great job. Police and Fire and Public Works really did a great job. And our cemetery crew, they really, they work and burn the midnight oil to get everything ready for Memorial Day. Sometimes we'll get a call in May and somebody will say, hey, this isn't ready at the cemetery, that's not ready. Their target date is to have everything ready for Memorial Weekend, so they work feverishly. That's sort of when we consider the season to have started, and that's the same for most cemeteries. Just two brief hospital updates. There have been a lot of, we've had a lot of internal meetings on different items. We do need people to go to the website and send in the letters. I believe Pat Schick is personally beating the website letters, and we've sent that around pretty far, so kudos to Pat Schick for her work in rallying hundreds of people to send in letters. So I don't know if anyone's a fan of The Office, but years ago they had like the computer versus, the online sales versus the in-person sales. Well, in this case, I think Pat Schick is winning versus the internet. So kudos to her and thanks her for all the work she does and all the sunshine she brings into all of
So
our
you're
lives
saying we
each and
just
every
need
day.
to have a contest for who can submit the most?
I think Pat would win hands down.
I think so too.
And then just to share, as I have with the board, even though we're working with the state, some of the continued frustration we have. We had a data meeting with DPH's Health Analytics Department, and I may have mentioned this before, but at one point somebody says, well, we can't give you HIPAA-protected information. Well, first of all, we're not asking for individual HIPAA-protected information. We're asking for EMS run information, which we, in the other towns in the catchment area, provide to the state. So first of all, there's nothing personally identifiable about that. People working in the field should know. Second of all, HIPAA regulations, which are generally misunderstood, don't actually apply in between government agencies. So it's, you know, you either have people who have no interest or no idea what's going on, and we have to drag it out of them just to get any work done. We have a data analyst working on it, and that's what he continues to report back to me, that it is pulling teeth to just get anything done. So there's still that problem. There was an article in the paper about a month ago about the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Mr. Donnelly shared it with me, calling Neshoba Valley an empty building with no people filling the beds. Well, if our analysis as a Commonwealth to healthcare and our approach to healthcare and hospitals is simply a business model, that's fine. Most of what we do in government doesn't make a profit because it's not designed to. So there's still this continued attitude that hospitals don't matter at the local level, and if they're not financially viable, they just shouldn't exist. The state hearing more from people would make a difference, but we need to send them in the actual letters. John Rogers knows, Mike Rush knows, our people know. It's the governor and the head of Health and Human Services and the Commissioner of Public Health that just need to hear that message very, very regularly, because I think we live in two very different worlds. So I think that's all I have to say on that for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions for the manager before we move into the Selectmen's updates?
Yeah, I was frustrated reading the article I did send you. Secretary Walsh had a lot of commentary about, basically, it read to me that the secretary is squashing any, is frustrating the task force there with commentary that the need isn't there, and that the hospital, there isn't the inpatient business to get a bidder or get a, and I'm very frustrated reading that. I think it is different than what I think we have here in Norwood, in that the state itself, in its determination of need in 2021, fully documented the need, and I think that differentiates us. I think hopefully enough from Neshoba Valley that the Secretary will not be of similar mind when and if there's time for the Secretary to chime in with insights regarding Norwood's situation. So let's be hopeful.
All right, well, then we will move to Selectmen's addenda. I will start on my left with Mr. Lane.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just want to quickly say thank you to everyone that helped out with the town meeting, specifically the clerk's office, Mary Lou, Marcy, Emily, Tricia. They did a great job. And we got a lot done in 3 nights, so kudos to that team, Mr. Mizuko. And just wanted to quickly talk about sort of a preliminary timeline for the budget deficit task force, if we're thinking of like when that would be starting up. Mr. Donnelly, I know we had a brief conversation on that, so not necessarily have to answer that question right now, but just to make sure people are aware that we had kind of said once town meeting was over, those talks would begin.
Sure. Memo's been drafted. I requested a meeting with Mr. O'Neill. Meet with Mr. O'Neill tomorrow. I wanted to get a sense from Mr. O'Neill as to the memo. The draft memo itself outlines a series of tasks relating to the work to be done, and I wanted to make sure that it's in concert with his thinking on the tasks, given what we want to do. And then that memorandum we would send out to our fellow board members at the school committee and the finance committee. And there will also be an opportunity at that point for those committees to also express an opinion in terms of they agree or they'd like more or less for the task. So I still think we're a couple of weeks away from formalizing that, but I think once it gets to those boards, I think we'll follow pretty quickly. So I'm afraid I can't give you a timeline right now, but hopefully soon.
Disappointing. No, just kidding. No, that was great. Thank you. I appreciate that. No further commentary. Thank you.
All right, I will move straight across to Mr. Donnelly.
Thank you all the staff and all the volunteers who made the event success yesterday, and all the people who spoke. Thank you for your remarks, Madam Chair. Veterans Agent Winistron did a great job. Kept it going very, very briskly, I must say, which was intentional on his part, and I think that was well done. And you couldn't have asked for a better day. So thank you to everybody who participated in the parade, and thank you for the public safety staff. The coordination of the parade route itself was fine. I think the enhancements that Chief Patton had made benefited all the marchers, and I think the switching of the starting point to the common made things a little easier to manage as well. So kudos to everybody. Thank you. That's all, Madam Chair.
All right. Mr.
Oh,
Sackler.
I should mention one more thing. I'm so sorry. So we mentioned it. I will send out to the board. There is the goals and objectives for Mr. Mizuko that we had developed. I have transferred them onto the standard form, and what I'd like to do is get this out to the board members you've seen it before. I did make one edit to the goals and objectives, which was just a recognition of an additional goal to recognize Mr. Mizuko's work that he's conducted over the past several months working on the Norwood Hospital Task Force. That needs some further review on our part. But the form is pretty much ready to go. Once it is, I will send it out one more time, and then pursuant to our learnings from last year, I'd like to kind of work with Mr. Mizuko and the HR staff to transition the administration of the program to our HR department to alleviate the need for any board members to be administratively involved in the collection of the data. So that's a practice that most other communities would, municipalities would take regarding such processes as this. So more information to come shortly. Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry about that.
That's a fine. Mr. Sad.
I just want to say our condolences to Ron McCarthy's wife and his entire family. Ron was a great friend of the North Walpole Fishing Game Club, and he passed recently, so our condolences from us and the town of Norwood, and that's that, Madam Chairman.
Very well. Thank you very much. So for mine, I have a couple small things for us tonight. One is just to congratulate a member of the community. We were told about Father Joseph Kimmett of the St. George Antiochian, is it Antiochian? Antiochian Orthodox Church. They're celebrating 30 years within their parish here in the community. And so we're going to be working on a letter to commemorate the occasion. And so I will be working with the manager, and we've had members of the community give us information about their tenure there. Then we'd be happy to commemorate a very great accomplishment. I love seeing long-standing community members, and I just really get a lot of joy from that. So this was very positive news. So again, congratulations to Father Kimmett. It's quite an accomplishment. And then on other items, we're approaching summer hours. We've previously polled everyone for their availability throughout the summer. As a reminder, we tend to host fewer meetings throughout the summer, but one of the things I wanted to reaffirm for this year, as we've done it a couple times in previous years, we often have the chair have a little bit of latitude to administratively approve smaller items so that we don't have to scramble and have meetings in between our longer stretches of planned meetings. So what I am interested in is having the board once again authorize the chair to act in this way. Again, this is for items that are, they're applications that, are coming from community members that we're already familiar with, already have done previous approvals on. This is just to ensure that we don't have folks missing an event because of the timing of our meetings being a little different than usual. But for matters that would be emergency in nature or other important concerns of the board, we would still follow our normal processes.
I'd like to make a motion, authorize the chairwoman to take care on those tasks.
Made by Mr. Sapp. Seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. All right, that takes care of that. And then my last item is just a little bit of lobbying information. I noticed an item across my wire slightly relevant to our interests, which is that apparently there's discussion happening currently at the State House between the Senate and the House regarding the setting of alcohol license limits at the local level or not, whether or not the State House is going to choose to sort of hand that piece of the process to the towns or whether they'll continue to keep it at the State House. And so if we have a strong opinion about that, now is probably a good time to reach out. My impression is that the Senate is in favor. The House is not necessarily in favor, so they're currently still deliberating about it. And this may be a time, if you have strong opinions, either for or against, that you might want to reach out to the representatives to let them know how it is affecting Norwood in terms of the process to go and seek an increase in licenses or not here in Norwood. So it's a good time to do that. And other than that, that is all items that I have on our list tonight. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn if we so desire.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, unanimous. We are done for the evening, and we will see you again soon. Thank you so much.